Back again, people, back again. You know, CC from CC Sports Lab. You don't know, you get what I say? So right now, we don't know, we are giving you some more update and a little bit of information that we have found out about Steve McLaren, right? Because, you know, that is the name that is strongly linked with the Reggae Boyz coaching job. And I feel like this piece of evidence even give more credence to that end, right? Because even when I listen to even Mr. Speed speak about the type of coach that he would want in terms of the type of manager, he said he wants somebody who could go there and set out the cones, do the training drills and everything. So when we were looking at it, we would have known, as I said, the background of Steve McLaren being with Middlesbrough, the background of him coaching at being an assistant coach and doing technical coaching stuff with Manchester United in their treble winning season with Sir Alex Ferguson, going abroad to FC20, winning the Eredivisie in the Dutch league. That's the highest league in Netherlands. So he would have had all of those experiences. He would have been an assistant or interim coach with England, and at that time then would have been juggling that with his duties at Middlesbrough, right? He would have also moved on from that and then came back in 2004 when they said that there was an issue. Brian Kidd at the time had some surgery because of his illness, and he was now the assistant to Sven-Göran Eriksson. So that's international experience. Given the fact that he was interim manager, he was also assistant manager. He also took over after Eriksson in a space where I think England was in a transition phase and they never qualified for the Euros. With that being said, though, we have to understand that the dynamics of international management, you will not see a top 10 coach per se in the game in international management. If you're looking at, for example, a Julian Nagelsmann, Bayern Munich let him go. And I suspect he would have wanted to be coaching in in club game just the same. But I think he would have been probably the most high profile coach in terms of a young coach coaching at the highest level that have gone into international management, and it's with Germany, and you can understand it's Germany. But when you look even at the pay dynamics, for example, the highest paid coach prior to his resignation was Gareth Southgate, which is like 6.3 million. When you look at what Pep Guardiola and those guys are getting, and Diego Simeone's, the Jose Mourinho's, Mikel Arteta, all of those guys, 6.3 million is like the average on the club's pay scale. So I think it's more lucrative to be in club football. It's more demonstrative when you can manage a club team. And when you're in like the prime of your career between like 45 and between 45 and 55, I think a lot of managers tend to want to go to the club route, right? Now that Steve McLaren is like 63 and he would have coached at the club level, he would have coached overseas in terms of FC20. He would have done all of that, right? So I think the genuine step up is to international football, even though he had a stint with England national team. But the thing about it is like you want to prove yourself that, yeah, I got a chance with England, but a lot of persons ended up saying that, and there was a newspaper that came out, the Wally with the Brally. Basically, like, you know, an umbrella is what they call the Brally. So upon England crashing out of the tournament, he was left holding an umbrella, standing on the sidelines, right? Looking out. But I mean, as I said, when I look at his CV, what he's done in the game and his experience, and he's not, I think he's a coach where he doesn't necessarily have that defensive mindset. So that should bode well for us. But let's get on to the news. It's from the Football Insiders, guys. So just listen carefully. Exclusive: Steve McLaren could quit Manchester United in a dramatic twist. Because, as you know, Manchester United were recently taken over by the Ineos group, right? So apparently, because of the finishing last season, I think they finished 8th. There's a dramatic change in their backroom staff. The goalkeeper coach was changed. They brought in 2 assistants, and then they demoted Steve McLaren to technical coach or first team coach for the team, right? And also, Darren Fletcher is there in the US on the tour, helping or assisting with the team in the US tour, which McLaren is not on the tour. So it shows the further reduced role which the coach is in. But let's read. It says Steve McLaren could quit Man United after being pushed down the coaching pecking order at the club. Sources have told Football Insider. The arrival of a new coaching team, including the ex-manager Ruud van Nistelrooy, which I said is going to be a part of the assistant management in terms of the management group, has led to a backroom shake-up, and McLaren 63 is one of the fall guys, right? So McLaren was close to Eric Ten Hag last season and was a key tactical sounding board, but his position is now under threat, and sources say he's ready to quit before he is sacked. The ex-England manager, but hear what it says, key tactical sounding board. That means that he is somebody who is keen on tactics, and I think that's something that we need in terms of managing the Reggae Boyz. Let's go on. The ex-England manager had acted as assistant manager since rejoining the club in 2022, but has now been relegated to the title of technical coach. As I said earlier, he was relegated to the title of technical coach, as in they brought in 2 more assistants to take over. Van Nistelrooy, going further, has now been appointed as the club's new assistant alongside fellow Dutchman Rene Ake and Jelle ten Roo. Well, I'm not sure how to pronounce that name, but there's been a new goalkeeping coach. I'll work on that pronunciation, guys. So any further videos, don't suspect that I would not. I will work on pronouncing those different names, because I think he's also a Dutchman. Things are all changing in the director's box too, with the appointments of Dan Ashworth as sporting director, Jason Wilcox as technical director, and ex-Manchester City man Omar Berrada as CEO. So basically, they say the club hopes that modernizing their structure will help them return to former glories. McLaren rejoined the club he had been so successful at with Sir Alex Ferguson in 2022 as a member of Ten Hag's coaching team. And at that point in time, the 63-year-old became integral part of the coaching staff, but now could be forced out as they finished 8th, right? So, as you can see, basically the article is saying that McLaren is being forced out. And also it further goes on to say that I think he has great links with somebody in the Ineos group, and that is the reason why he's still currently at Manchester United, but he's not happy with his current situation. So is it, guys, that we will finally see where the JFF should announce a coach, and the coach that we should be looking at is Steve McLaren? Because this name would have been thrown out multiple times, but I think some persons on risking their credibility wouldn't want to say. But as I said, I'm not inside the JFF, I'm not the JFF, and they are the ones selecting the coach. But all of the signs so far, based even on the utterances of Mr. Speed and the type of coach that he was describing, it leads us to think that Steve McLaren is the guy, right? Tactical sounding board, check. International experience, check. Man management, based on the fact that he was brought back in to assist Spenger and Eriksson. And if you know, Eriksson doesn't necessarily speak or communicate the language in a way where I think he would have been seamlessly with the England national team. So I think that's why he was brought in to be that bridge. So that is also, man management for me is also checked, right? McLaren seems to be the type of guy that seems like he has a little bit of personality on him also. So that is also check. So for me, when you look, he tends to check all the boxes, right? Also, he's at an age where club football for me won't necessarily be, he's looking to go back into club football. So I think he wants to go into senior management and go into a head coaching job and go and manage a team. And I think Jamaica's team, the Reggae Boyz, is a good destination. So don't worry yourself, Mr. McLaren. You're welcome down here, you know. So big up yourself, gentle people. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and just share and subscribe, like. As I said, we are trying to grow the channel. So, peace, I'm out.